Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Fairfield. Welcome to the bi-weekly podcast. I'm Mark Turner. That's Claire Vaughn. Lisa Konopasek, Gayla Templeman have joined us from Queerts of Valor. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and thanks for everything you do for the veterans.
Man, my gosh.
Well,
we just can't say that enough.
Oh, it's
You
an honor and really it's a pleasure. We have a good time doing it.
We do, and it is one of those things. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
So tell us how this thing all gets started. I know it's, 5 years now?
Oh, it'd be three.
3 years.
Close enough.
Time flies.
I was kind of gauging it on the time I got to the radio station.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was thinking. It was
Right.
that long. But how did all this get started?
Well, go ahead, Gayla.
Well, you know, my saying is, if Lisa Konopasek ever comes up to you and says, "Hey, I've got a great idea," run, run. I say,
Wait a minute. I should tell this story.
Let's start over. No.
These guys went to a Flora Guild meeting where the Alney quilters, the Alney Valor quilters,
Right.
presented quilts to some local residents.
Okay.
And I didn't get to go that night, but they went and they came back and were just all fired up.
Oh, yeah.
And Lisa was like, "We can do this, we can do this," and the rest of us are kind of like, you know. And it's like
Yeah.
you think, "Oh, we're just going to make a few quilts," which we love to quilt anyway.
Right,
you know?
right.
But we had no idea it was going to take over our lives. But it's really been so beneficial because. You know, we have a lot of quilters who say, "This saved my life." You know, having something to live for and to do something positive for somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's what it's all about.
Right.
And I can't even imagine in 3 years the hours that you all have
gosh.
dedicated to this project. And we talked before we went on air. This is a strictly volunteer.
Totally.
You know, no one is paid for their time. And I come from a quilting family. I sadly am not a quilter yet. Maybe one day I'll get
it's
the
a little hard.
patience.
It's a little
Join
hard
us.
when you have little ones. at
Yes,
home.
one
It
day
definitely
maybe
is.
I will try to get the patience to do it and the time, but I treasure quilts myself. I'm a quilt collector.
Okay,
And
great.
I have so many. My husband's like, do not bring home anymore.
I know.
But I just, every time I cuddle up with one, I think about the amount of time and
the story.
love and the story.
Every quilt has a story.
Gayla knows ours are scrap quilts, right?
Right.
So they're all made out of whatever grandma and grandpa had.
Exactly.
Boys' old shirts, old
Yeah.
ties, and our old dresses that she made us, whatever it was. But I look at it and I see the different fabrics, and it's like you
Sure.
said, it's a story, and everyone has a story.
And it's always a good memory,
Absolutely.
Always.
you know.
Yes.
But
Definitely.
in those 3 years, we've awarded over 375 quilts to Wayne
my
County to Wayne
gosh.
County veterans.
Wow, that's amazing.
And not to pat ourselves on the back,
Toot your own horn.
but that's
That's a lot.
a lot.
And how many given like volunteers do you have on a?
We probably have around 50
Mm-hmm.
that are working on quilts, and
That's a lot of work.
It
not,
is.
Not everybody is working at the same time,
Right.
or not everybody's working on specific quilts of valor, but everybody is, you know, everybody's valuable.
Yes.
We have several ladies who are in their 80s
Oh my gosh.
who quilt for us, and as a matter of fact, some of them are the most prolific.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And as you said, I mean, it's hard to be a quilter when you're young.
Yeah.
But we do have a few younger quilters
Yeah.
who help us. But it's hard to find the time to do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of our ladies are especially if they know someone who's a veteran, or if they have, you know, were married to one or had siblings or children, you know, and that is something, that's a way that they can honor
Yes.
their family members.
Give back. That's amazing.
and it's not just, you don't have to be a quilter to help. We have people that's just cutting fabric, putting kits together, pressing for someone else.
Okay.
There's all kinds of jobs.
My light bulb's
And-
going off. Like, okay, I can maybe do that stuff.
And we have two ladies that help call the veterans
Oh.
and get the information from the veterans.
Okay.
And all of that takes time.
Yes, definitely.
You know, just calling them, getting their information, writing their description up, and then when we have the ceremonies, we read a personal thing about each veteran, their service, what have you.
And
All
whatever
that takes
they
time.
tell us.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of funny because sometimes when we're talking to them on the phone, they won't really give us a lot of information. But when we talk to them in person the day of the, that we're awarding, then we hear more stories and we can add to that.
Yeah.
So that's always, some of the stories have just been amazing.
Absolutely.
Touching, very touching stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and maybe you've even known these people your entire life.
Right.
And you're like, holy cow, I had no idea this is
are-
what you did.
There are a lot of veterans, especially veterans who actually saw combat.
Yes.
They will not talk to you a
Right.
lot. They won't divulge a lot of information.
And that's okay. I mean, and some people just don't want to say a lot, or
Right.
maybe they don't want to be a part of our big ceremonies. And we have 55 people veterans at our big ceremonies. So we also have small ones at the VFW, and sometimes people are more comfortable doing that and not be a part of a
The
big
bigger
group.
ones.
So we just try to do what they're comfortable with.
Right. We have had ceremonies at, Skill Care. That's where your Grandpa Bob got his quilt. And we've had ceremonies at Brookstone. We've had ceremonies at Aperion.
Okay.
Wherever people feel comfortable or wherever they are, that's where we will go. We've even had, we've had a few ceremonies at schools.
I was gonna
we did
say.
that
Right.
for Veterans Day.
Okay.
Jasper, New Hope, and Jeff, we've had those ceremonies. And then we've even had a couple of ceremonies at family reunions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Part of the family just invited us, and so we awarded quilts there. And then one, Gayla even did in her driveway.
Yes, I did.
The veteran wasn't able to.
And he was on his
Get
way to
out.
the doctor.
Oh.
And so they came and we had our ceremony in the driveway, and he was thrilled with his quilt.
That's amazing. You really do it wherever you
Exactly.
need to.
Wherever they are, we are willing to be
And
there.
Scoot your camera back a little bit. It's
I
right
can.
up on you.
Am I?
Yeah,
I'm fidgeting as
al-
usual.
We
I'll
also
sit back.
awarded at at Sam Del Lake, the middle of nowhere, the restaurant out there.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
It was fun.
How do you, we talked before we got on air, but how do you find out veterans and how do you know who to reward and what's your database like?
Well, there is no database.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most people think that you would be able to, find out get online, find out who were veterans and who weren't. There's no database.
Wow.
And so we just have to have word of mouth. So please, if you are a veteran or you know of someone who's a veteran, please call one of us and let us know. We do have on Facebook. It's
Okay.
Wayne County Quilts of Valor, and you can go on there and find out, more information. But also, we put on there like when we're going to be having our ceremonies and pictures and things like that. So I would invite anybody to go to that Facebook page,
Okay.
Wayne County Quilts of Valor.
And they can probably send messages on there as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Monitor.
Or
Okay.
just private message, either one of us.
Okay.
Well, and actually, Gayla and I are here today, but they're Jenny Reynolds and PJ Kavanaugh. It's a group of four of us.
Okay.
We're just kind of the, what are we? Organization.
Facilitators.
Facilitators, that's what we are.
chiefs.
So we'll give out PJ and Jenny's phone numbers, and
Yeah,
so
there you go.
everybody can call them.
Hey, Jenny is in the live chat right now, so she is watching.
Oh,
She says
good.
good morning. So, Jenny, you don't care that we give out your cell, right?
We love Jenny. We love Jenny and PJ.
I love
Absolutely.
Jenny, too.
But that's another thing, though, is that even though the four of us are kind of the facilitators,
Right.
we don't have officers. Nobody's more important than anybody
Right.
else. Everybody that works with us, no matter how many quilts you've made or what you do, we want input from people.
Absolutely.
It's
a
not
group.
just us. It's
And
a group.
Like you said, it takes everyone.
Absolutely.
Whether what you're skilled in quilting or skilled in cutting or
Right.
ironing or whatever. I mean, it takes a village to do what you guys
It
are doing.
does.
And 300 and how many?
375, I
in
believe.
3 years. That's just
And we have
amazing.
quilts. We have quilts completed, ready to award.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For our next.
Yeah, and we have names, but we need more. We know there are more out there.
Right. I was
And-
wondering, like, estimated, how many do you think we still have living in Wayne County? There's no way to even estimate.
No.
I have
there's
no
no.
idea.
Wow.
We have probably awarded at least 150 Vietnam veterans,
Wow.
but I'm sure there are more out there. And we just need someone, and this is a great platform to do that.
Right.
Is just to get the word out.
Yes, definitely.
Any veterans in Wayne County, whether you're, there may still be some World War II Korean. We don't have
Right.
Vietnam, and we already awarding some Gulf War, Afghanistan,
Okay.
career military.
And a person does not have to have served in a war.
Okay.
If they are, I've been stateside the entire time, or, any type of service. And a lot of times people will feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Saying, well, I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
Because they think a veteran should be somebody that served overseas or whatever, or in a war.
I think that
And-
was my grandpa. I don't believe he ever
Right.
actually went. I think
Well,
he was,
and that was-
stateside the whole time. But
Yeah, and that was my husband.
Yeah.
Because he served in the during the Vietnam era, but he served in Germany. And so he never considered himself really and truly a veteran.
wow.
Because,
Yeah.
so.
It is something that for people like us that weren't in the service, for us to really fully understand that dynamic. But even my brother who served overseas, like he feels bad kind of cashing in on these things, you know what I mean? Or
Right.
getting the veterans discount or whatever. It's like for some reason it's just I don't know. It's a weird thing for them sometimes. Like it's hard for them to talk about. It's hard for them to
And
ask for things,
There's a bond
Oh,
between
yeah.
those men and women who served in a specific war.
Yes.
At one of our ceremonies, it was one of the first Vietnam ceremony that we had. We were meeting upstairs beforehand, and this one guy looked at this other guy and said, I didn't know you were a Vietnam veteran.
Really?
And the other one said, well, I didn't know you were. And they had worked together in the coal mine for 40 years. And didn't
Never talked
they
about it.
never talked about it.
Which we kind of mentioned that era of war just
Yeah.
really had a negative association with it for a long time, and it wasn't something that they really talked about. So that's amazing that you brought them together, and now they have a friend or someone they can bond with over
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that some of our Vietnam veterans have come up to us later on and said, no one has ever said thank you for our service. And their quilts mean so much to them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that means so much to us to hear.
It makes it all worth it when,
It does,
yeah. It really does. And that's the whole goal behind it, right? It's just, making these guys feel a little bit of appreciation, or women as well.
Exactly.
For
We get so many phone calls and nice cards and just comments
yeah.
from the veterans and their families. And
Yeah.
but we have a good group of good group of quilters, community people all working, but we could not do this without Fairfield National. They are our main sponsor, and they have just been great
That's amazing.
to make this happen, because it couldn't happen
No.
without them and their support.
I mean, the amount of quilts that you've made, and I'm just thinking of how expensive fabric is.
It is.
And how much money, that takes to be able to do something like this. Like, I'm not sure people that haven't been in a quilting family or have never been a quilter can even fathom how much money you're putting into each quilt. Yeah, it's a lot. So thank you to F&B for
Absolutely.
helping sponsor this project, because it's It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing that you guys are doing. And if you want to make donations, they do accept donations as well. You can contact these ladies or Wayne County Quilts of Valor and find out how to make those donations. But it's a great cause, and be sure and, message them, any veterans that you know as well. So let's see. We talked about you meet monthly. But everyone kind of quilts on their own time as well. You talked about making the kits. So you guys make your own kits? It's not like a purchase thing. You decide on.
We purchased a few.
Okay.
Just kind of to get us going.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Because it was a little overwhelming. And in the beginning, we just had so many people who were interested and who wanted to make quilts. And so the kits were wonderful to be able to just go, here, take this home and we're going to,
Right.
So
Bring it back.
And by the way, when we got when this all started, and we weren't sure how this was going to go over. We had no idea.
Really?
And so we just kind of put the idea out there, and we just could not believe the support from quilters. And then Cheryl Matthews at your quilting shop, your quilting stash.
Johnsonville.
In Johnsonville, that's right. Home of Lisa Konopasek.
That's right. There should be a sign as you come to town.
I'm surprised there's not.
Hey, keep doing what you're doing, and you'll have your own sign.
But anyway, Cheryl has kind of become our headquarters, and we have kind of like taken over one of the rooms in her quilting shop. We have all our things stashed there.
Yeah, we've kind of taken over.
But that's our main headquarters, and that's been wonderful.
Yes.
You have
shout out to Cheryl.
You have brought a sample of some work.
Speaking of.
Yes, speaking of.
Look at this.
I know.
And now,
Look at Lisa doing her best Vanna.
I know.
yeah,
Vanna.
I like that.
So explain to us, this is not a quilt yet, right?
This is the center part is a panel.
Okay.
And Vicki Gifford, this is part of the Vicki Gifford line.
wondered.
Vicki Gifford has designed this line called Coming Home for Riley Blake Fabrics. And Riley Blake is it's an international company. And it's top of the line fabric.
Yeah.
And so she has designed this line, and all of the branches are represented. I don't know how much of this they can see, but
I think you can see all of it. Yep.
okay.
So the bottom we have the Navy.
Navy.
And then you see Army to the left.
Or Marines, Air
Yep.
Force. Apparently, and Vicki did. You should have Vicki on.
I know,
someday,
Vicki. Put her on
because
our list.
she
too.
could. Her story is really amazing, and all that she had to learn to be able to do this.
Yes.
And she designed our
Oh,
shirts.
did she?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I can see these.
we're promoting Vicki today.
I love it.
It's all about Vicki.
But look
I
at
love
Look
it.
at this. It's an older gentleman veteran looking in the mirror.
And he sees himself as a young soldier.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that is a very, and how that came about is that Vicki actually painted this picture, and she put it out there for a raffle for the money to go to Wayne County Quilts of Valor.
Oh.
And Brandon Biddles actually purchased the painting.
Yes.
And then later on, we're like, we need shirts. You know,
Yeah.
what could we use for shirts? And somebody was like, well, you've got the perfect.
Let's
thing.
do it.
Yeah.
So this is our
Right.
official shirt.
Wow.
But yeah, she designed this line, and there are 20-some coordinating fabrics.
And I think she has a website, right, where you can purchase these. Vicki Gifford
Painter. Yes. And
Facebook, right?
Yes. But actually, the fabric is available through. I know it's at your quilting stash. I know it's at Mindy's.
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're.
And you can just order it online, but yeah, I know
Shop
Cheryl
local.
has. There you go. Cheryl has the complete line, and Mindy has the line as well, and
That's
it's just
awesome.
beautiful, and it's yeah, she's our local celebrity.
But
That was very cute. Very cute.
I love
Well, actually, there's a story behind this, and Lisa's the only person who can really tell this story.
okay.
So,
Do you know what story you're supposed to tell?
Oh, I do. I'm gonna give you the condensed version, but I simply happened to be in the right place at the right time. That's all it was.
Yeah.
We met some people. We were actually on a cruise, and
in the Mediterranean,
In-
nowhere near Wayne County.
nowhere
Yeah.
near Wayne County.
It's a small world out
It
there.
is.
Yeah.
And we got the very first night we were talking with this couple, and honestly, at the beginning of the conversation, I wasn't really engaged.
Right. Just
But
kinda-
Tom was talking to the husband, and well, where are you guys from? What do you do? And blah blah blah. And this man, he said, well, we're in the textile business. So then, now I'm in. Now I'm interested. And so we get to talking, and we meet his wife, and they're Riley Blake, and
No
Cindy
way.
Cloward was, and she is so sweet.
Aw.
And so pretty and so just smart and
Yeah,
it's her company.
wonderful.
It's her company.
Yeah.
So then I have a lot to talk to her
Yeah,
about.
you're like, you're way more interesting.
Oh yeah.
now.
So we talked every night, and
Aw.
so talked about her fabric, and I'm a quilter, and well, what kind of things do you like to make? And I said, well, I'm really into Quilts of Valor right now. So then, we talked, and one night she said, I've been thinking maybe we need to design a line of fabric for Quilts of Valor. Do you have any ideas?
Goosebumps.
And I said, actually, I do.
yes, the
I-
perfect person.
Because we already had the shirts.
We already had the shirts.
We already knew.
And
that
I
we
showed-
Let me show you an
Yeah.
example.
I know. So I found a picture of the shirt, and so I told her about Vicki, and she looked at her website, and she's like, yeah, I really like what, her artwork, and so I came. So she's like, yeah, I think I'd like to talk with her. So we got home. It was like, that was a long travel night. Holy cow, the very next morning I'm like, Vicki, I gotta talk to you. So I said, well, can I come out and talk to you? I got something I think you might be interested in. And she says, okay.
Here we go, another crazy idea from Lisa.
So she says, okay, 2 questions. Does it involve any kind of public
Right.
interaction? Do I have to be speaking in
Right,
public?
right.
And do I have to do it right now? And I said no. And she's like, okay, come out.
Come on out.
So we talked, and so she took a picture of all of her patriotic paintings that she had made, and I forwarded all of those to Cindy, and Cindy said, yeah, I'm really interested in talking. So then they just hooked up, and it went from there.
Wow.
I
Just once again, the facilitator here.
absolutely.
You're just the facilitator.
I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But
That's amazing.
wow, you
Yeah.
never know who you're going to meet.
You don't.
And you never know
And the fact
how
that
it could help somebody else.
Yes, the fact that it came to fruition and is actually a line
Right.
now is amazing, because I've had a lot of conversations with people on vacations, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, we could, work
Yeah.
together. I don't think any have came to fruition yet. So
But
Vicki
you,
also
kudos.
has another line
Yeah.
that's almost ready to go.
yay, with her as well.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think she's in
And
with
it's
them.
called
Yay.
Letters from Home, isn't it?
Yeah, because this is coming home.
Yep.
And then the next line is
Letters from home. Oh
It's
my
patriotic as well. So
gosh.
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And her line is in quilt shops all across the country.
Right.
It's a big deal.
I mean, I think people underestimate Fairfield and Wayne County and how many talented individuals we have. So, I mean, that's amazing to have a local person like that in quilt shops nationwide. That's just amazing.
So
It is.
obviously we are making a lot of quilts
Yeah.
out of
Vicky's
with
fabric,
Vicky's
yes.
fabric.
I
And
mean,
enjoying
why
it
not?
Because it's beautiful fabric.
And majority of them, even their kits, right? A lot of them have different mixes, or it's like the same fabrics, but it's kind of put together differently. Like they're all unique in their own way,
Exactly.
correct?
And
We
there are
very rarely will have two quilts that are
That's-
exactly the
yeah.
same.
And there are a lot of fabrics that go with this line. There are blue stars and red stars, and
Right.
there's some greens, and
Yeah. Possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. And then you guys all actually do the quilting at Cheryl's then?
Well,
Do you have
we
a
have a designated quilter, Diana Toombs,
Okay.
who has probably quilted over 300,
Yeah.
hasn't she?
Yeah.
And then she takes them off the quilt machine and binds them.
Hand
She
binds
them
hand
all.
binds them. And that's my least favorite job.
Is
so I'm
it?
like, you go, girl.
Yeah, you
And
got
Yeah.
this.
That is probably the most time-consuming
It
part of the
is.
job, too, isn't it?
I don't know,
Well, it
cutting all
takes-
those little triangles.
you know, probably sewing the quilt together 40 plus hours maybe. I don't know. That's a
Around
guess.
And that's per quilt?
per quilt. So let's say 40 hours to make a quilt. And that's probably right. And then
And that's not counting the cutting of the fabric, which you guys, like you said, you have time putting that together into the kits.
and then the quilting, it probably takes her a couple hours per quilt because
Maybe
it's
longer
machine.
because
Yeah.
she does the backing and the batting, and I mean,
Right.
you have to put all that on the machine.
Right.
So maybe 3 hours to quilt it on the machine.
Yeah.
And then the hand binding, it takes me about 4 hours to hand bind. So I'm sure she's quicker than I am.
It takes me longer because I get distracted.
I was going to say, that's something I'd want to do, like sitting, watching my TV show or whatever, and then you're like zoned in. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be buying.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's amazing.
Another thing on Vicky's fabric, and this just happened a week or so ago. Riley Blake has a large quilt show. It's called Garden of Quilts in Utah, Lehigh, Utah, and it's in September. And they, of course, they are promoting Vicky's line, and
Right.
and they
And all the other lines as
and
well.
all the,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I just saw, or we just watched the other night. Melissa Gilbert has from Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a line of fabric with Riley Blake as well, and that's so that it's all different types of fabric, but each one has their story. Anyway, for this quilt show, they asked Wayne County Quilts of Valor if we would send 20 quilts that will be awarded to veterans, but out there for this quilt show.
And that's a huge honor.
It is.
Yeah, that's
we were
huge.
so excited. We were like calling everybody and
And like making sure you're picking out the best ones. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't send any that have some errors.
Oh no,
yeah, it's a big deal.
What's,
it is a
what's
big
the
deal.
tool that you have to use to
The
tear
seam
the
ripper.
seam ripper? Yeah, that's Angela always says
familiar
that's
with
her
those.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, or her most used tool.
so that,
Sorry,
that's
Nammy.
that's a big deal for Vicky, and
And a big
and
deal
it's a
for
big
us.
deal
Yeah,
for us
it's
too.
a huge deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's at this particular quilt show, it's about 50 acres of
Oh
quilts.
my gosh! So you guys, have you got to go to this? Are you guys going?
We would love to go.
So as we were talking about donations, send these girls. No.
We promise not to use that.
Yeah,
word.
no.
We're joking. We're joking.
Someday we'll get there.
Yes, put that on your bucket
Yeah.
list.
So that's a cool thing for her. And
Oh my gosh.
cool for us too.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. All right, what have we not hit on? We need to. You guys got notes. What do
When
we?
is the next ceremony?
There you go.
We don't have a big ceremony set up, but we do have a small ceremony on July 13th, and that will be at the VFW. And that will probably just be between maybe 6 and 12, veterans.
Provided it isn't on cheeseburger night.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
on cheeseburger night, we
No.
promise. We
It's
promise.
probably on a Saturday. Is that on a Saturday?
Yes, it is.
We have enough names to do a large ceremony, but we've been doing some smaller ones at the VFW, and that's kind of that's kind of good too. People, the last time we had one at 11 and at 1, and then the VFW supplied some snacks for the people, and they just kind of hung around.
Yeah.
And they bring their families, and
It's pretty relaxed.
yeah.
And we can't say enough about the VFW and the VFW Auxiliary. They were among the first to kind of come right out in public and say, hey, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
And we actually have gotten several quilters who have joined us from the auxiliary.
That's
And
amazing.
it is, and we've gotten to be really good friends. We sew at Cheryl's on Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's not all Quilts of Valor. You sew on what you want to,
Oh,
you can
okay.
make them. But anybody that wants to see what we're doing, if they would like to come up on Tuesdays, they're more than welcome.
Everyone is welcome and invited to come, and there's no cost for this. You
Oh,
bring
no.
your own stuff if
Right.
you want to quilt on it, or you can set them up with a kit to work
yeah.
on.
And actually,
we would love to.
This coming Tuesday at Cornerstone Church is our
Monthly.
monthly.
Oh, okay.
So we will have anyone that's interested, would like to work on a quilt, want to just come see what we're doing. We will have Vicky's fabric there. We'll have patterns there, and if they're interested in taking a kit and
Right.
making a quilt, they can come.
We will have a few kits, but if they want to look through our pattern books, our pattern booklets, and see, and choose their own fabric, they're more than welcome to.
I am looking at RileyBlakeDesigns.com right now and
Yes.
found Vicki Gifford under designers, which is just so
I know.
exciting.
How cool is that?
Love it. And I'm looking through her letters from home fabrics and
Coming Home.
Because
Because that's this
letters. Yes. Okay. So Coming Home is the one she has right now, right?
Correct.
But they have letters from home on there. They have
Do they?
the fabric. I can see it.
Good. Awesome.
It
Really?
says it's announcing, or it'll be available January 2025.
Okay.
So, but
Great.
they're
I didn't
already
even
showing
realize it was on
previews.
there.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Love it, love it. We need to get Joel Wise on this, because I'm like, there's a lot of good like Army, and I mean I like how they feature all the branches and stuff. But
I would like to make Joel.
yes, it'd be special coming from Gayla. I love it. But get on RileyBlakeDesigns.com and you can look at the letters from home and the coming home, and just learn more about Vicki as well. It's so exciting, and it's how wonderful that you guys are able to use that for your Wayne County Quilts of Valor
Yeah,
stuff too.
it's-
How many different branches have you given quilts to?
All the branches,
All the
probably.
branches.
Army, Navy,
Yes.
Air
Marines,
Force,
Air
Marines.
Force.
And Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, okay.
yes.
Yep.
So I was
And we've
wondering
also
if
done
Coast
some
Guard were
who,
included in that.
We're local. I mean, that they were like with the local postal unit. And,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
right, National Guard.
Yeah.
So we've done that as well.
Wow.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, all branches
Okay.
and yeah, and I don't know where we are on time, but
Oh, you're fine.
okay.
Yeah. Talk away.
Okay. But we can't say enough. We need names.
Mm-hmm.
We have names. We have veterans that we are ready to award to. We have the quilts. We just need more names. Even if the Afghanistan, Gulf War.
If you know someone
if
that's
you
a
know
veteran.
someone that's a
Right.
veteran or
Even-
career.
And even if you have given us that name
That's what I was going to
previously,
say.
Yeah.
if that person has not yet received a quilt, because things fall through the cracks.
Definitely.
And we would rather receive a person's name
10
10
times.
times, yes.
Right.
And than miss somebody.
Yes, definitely. You will not annoy them. We'll give you
No.
Jenny's cell phone number to text. I'm just messing. But yes, Wayne
think
County
that's a great
Quilts
idea.
of Valor on Facebook. Find them, message them there,
Yeah.
or you can direct message Gayla or Lisa or Jenny or PJ
Yes.
on Facebook as well. And yeah, get those names in.
Wayne County Quilts of Valor is not the only one
Oh no.
in the area. There's several other Quilts of Valor
Edwards
organizations.
County has
They just started one within
Okay.
last year.
probably last year.
The Olney quilters, the Olney Valor quilters,
Mm-hmm.
they when we first started, they came to us and gave us some kits. They gave us lots of patterns. They were really helpful in us setting things up.
Just how to get started.
And, that's really important because you don't know where to begin.
No. And it's starting a business. You know what I mean? You guys are a business. It's a 501(c)(3) non-for-profit. But, you have to get your ducks in a row. It's not something that you can just, okay, we're doing this.
Right.
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, that was,
yeah.
And we thought we would have to go out and, ask a lot of businesses and things. But when we went to Fairfield National Bank and met with them, we could tell they were very, very interested.
Yeah.
And they called later on. Was it the same day or the next day? It was
a few days, yeah.
And it was like, yes.
We're doing it.
And we want to be your sole sponsor.
Wow.
And it was like, okay.
All of our stress about money is now gone.
Because we don't have to do pork burger sales.
Yes, we can focus on our mission.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have happened. We couldn't have done 375 quilts plus.
Right.
And we're still going.
Wow.
And we have quilts ready and
just need some names.
Yeah, we have names, but
we'd
to
like
do
to
a
get
big,
some more.
yeah, we want more so that we can have some big ceremonies and
we
smaller.
want to make sure that every veteran in Wayne County receives a quilt.
Yes.
Every veteran. Wow. So that's our mission, and that's what we intend to do.
Wow, that is so amazing. And I thank you guys so much for dedicating so much of your time to this cause, because it's one near and dear to my heart, and I know to a lot of people's heart. And just I know you see it and you hear it, but the appreciation that you're giving these veterans is just amazing.
And like you said earlier, for some of the veterans, it's the first time they've ever gotten any appreciation.
It is, yeah.
Our Vietnam veteran ceremonies have been so emotional because many of them have never talked about it. They have never, even to their families.
Right.
They came back, put their head down and got to work.
Yeah.
And did, whatever needed to be done.
Yeah.
And they were not recognized the way that they should have been.
Right.
And this is just a way for them to be recognized, but it's also a way for them to maybe realize, hey, we did something good.
Yes, right.
Absolutely.
And people appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Derek Dunn is chiming in the live chat. Says, hi, Lisa. Hi, Gayla. Major kudos to those who work on Quilts of Valor. If you have not been to a QOV ceremony, you need to go. Powerful, moving, and emotional.
Awesome.
And I guarantee all three of those things are true because...
And Derek, he's great.
Oh,
Thank you, Derek Dunn, Double D.
Double D.
And he really showed up for us one day. We were in a real bind, and we needed... we were to live stream it.
Oh, yeah.
On the radio, and... there were just some things that didn't happen, and the day of, Derek Dunn came and did that for us. He did.
He's the best.
He is the best.
Yes.
Another time we were, it was when they put the Christmas trees around the courthouse.
Yeah.
And we were struggling with our Christmas tree. We're just like,
We all struggled with those Christmas trees. They were blown down. And
we were trying to put our tree up, and he drove by and kind of waved at us, and the next thing you know,
he was back.
He was like, "You girls need some help." We're like,
"Yes,
we do." And he's so tall.
Oh,
yeah. It's like, we're like trying to stand on each other's backs. Didn't really
happen. That's great.
One thing I would like to mention: we have had people ask us how they can nominate people from other counties or other states or whatever. And you can get on QOVF, which is the Quilt of Valor Foundation.
Oh, okay.
And they have a way to nominate people. And what they will do is they will contact the closest Quilts of Valor organization to that person, whoever it is, if it's in California.
Right.
And then they will recognize that. And we have actually... presented some quilts in local areas as well.
Really?
Just because somebody has nominated them, and we got it off of the QOVF.
Oh, good. I'm putting that in the live chat if anyone wants to check it out, qovf.org. But that's a great thing to have, too.
And we are a member, Wayne County Quilts of Valor is a member of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, which is a national organization. And so there's a lot of information we get from them. There's guidelines,
There's patterns, there's all kinds of things. It's very beneficial.
It is.
Something that you need to be a member of, but also that, as a whole, but also helps you guys out a lot too. So that's good.
Another thing kind of along the Derek Dunn just coming in, and people, they just do. They want to help veterans. They want to help us. And the VFW, when we first started, and they've been very supportive of being honor guards at our ceremonies, and before the Veterans Parade, VFW thought that we should have a float, and we're like, oh gosh, we're making quilts, and then it was probably Clifford.
Probably Clifford River, I think it was.
We're going to fix you up a float. You're good. All you have to do is just come and ride on it. So we do. The Quilts of Valor's in the Veterans Parade, but they do it for us.
Wow.
They just
provide
do it.
The truck and the trailer and everything.
Show up.
Yeah, and we just
show
all we
up.
have to do is just ride. Hello.
How nice.
That's so nice.
It's
But you
great.
need to be in the Veterans Parade. One, doing what you're doing, but two, it's good marketing for people to see that and be like, oh,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
I know a
I didn't know
veteran,
that
or-
person was involved.
Yeah.
Or I didn't.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That just kind of jogs their memory. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to give them so-and-so's name.
Yes.
And we have also been, a lot of times we'll take pictures of our personal veterans.
Oh, yeah.
And, take those with us on the float.
Okay.
The first year our float was kind of tall and we had to have people help us up onto the float. I think they didn't realize that maybe some of us were
They're little-
elderly.
yeah. We can't hike our legs up there like we used
Exactly.
to.
And
Come on.
So this year we had a very short float and it was wonderful.
They've learned. That's awesome. Well,
Also along that line, we have had wonderful help. Of course, F&B whenever we have our
Right.
big ceremonies, but they've also brought their street crew. And then the student council has helped, put up chairs and put up flags.
When we had the flag man,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
that was maybe a year. It was the worst day ever. It rained, it sleeted, it was windy.
All
and-
the weather in one
Yes.
day.
And there are those
And then it
suites
turned out to be 75 2 hours later, right?
Yeah, right.
during the actual
Yeah.
ceremony when people were inside. But yeah, they were outside putting up those flags. We've had the football team help us. The Duckworth family has helped put up chairs. By the time the ceremony is over, we are like,
Oh, yeah.
and so their youth group as well as the Duckworth family have said, leave it to us. We'll put all the chairs up because that's a big job.
It is. It is a big job.
And at our big ceremonies, we have about 400 people. That's a lot of chairs.
Wow.
And a lot of organization. And
Yes.
it's a big day.
Wow.
Gary Gain does the audio
Yes.
for us
Oh, okay.
at First Christian Church when we have a
Yeah.
ceremony there. Dustin Fuller, he's now with you guys.
Yes.
Yay. And he's done a lot of the live streaming as well.
Be sure and get us whenever you're having your Quilts of Valor ceremonies, and we'll get
Absolutely.
that on the event calendar as well.
Okay. Yeah.
The show choir, wow.
Oh, do they
Yeah.
come and
FCHS,
perform?
They performed was that at our last one?
At the
Our
last big one. Yes, the national anthem. And, they were excellent.
Oh,
They
they're
were so good.
And
We're having Josh Livesay on later.
Later this month, yeah.
So we'll be
like
sure and give it. I do too. He's done such a great job
You
with
won't
our
have to worry
band.
about
and-
having enough.
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna block off
Yeah.
3 hours for that one.
you guys probably don't even have to show up that morning.
And
just
we'll all walk out with a big smile on
Oh
our face. 'Cause
yes,
Absolutely. He's
Entertaining.
got a lot
Yeah.
of energy, doesn't he?
yes, he does.
and go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and someone generally will sing the national anthem. We've had Elizabeth Gonzalez. We've
Yeah.
had Carly Taylor. We've had Melissa Barbary. And it is, each ceremony is different, but each ceremony is very special.
Yes.
No matter where it's held or when it's held. Each one is just...
And we read some personal information about each veteran.
I love that.
What they did during their service, where they served, any special awards, and oftentimes when you talk to the veterans, okay, tell me a little bit about your service.
Yeah.
So so that they tell you what they want to tell you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I have said, and they didn't just tell you, so were you awarded any special awards or citations? Well, I had a Bronze Star. Just like,
it's no big deal. Yeah.
but you had to ask.
Yeah. Well, and this may be some of their first time really talking about it. So you do kind of have to maybe fish out some information and let them warm up to the idea of talking about it as well. So like you said, when you get there in person and you have that more relatable conversation,
Right,
maybe a little bit
right.
more comes out. So
we had one gentleman who had really given us very little information, but when he came that day, his grandchildren were with him.
Aww.
And so he told Lisa this whole big long story that was just really tender, and he worked with dogs, and I mean, it was just. And then she handed it to me to read.
You're like, I can't.
I can't. I'm a mess on an easy day.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, here, Gayla.
And so I'm having to read this. and
Stone
it's like,
face
your
over
voice-
here.
Your voice cracks, and
Yeah.
some of them are just so tender and so emotional.
And everyone has a story. Every single one of them have a story.
Yeah. And their story might be very lighthearted compared to someone else,
Yes.
but they served, and that was their experience.
Yes,
Exactly.
definitely.
We've had some really emotional moments, as well as like we've had several veterans who've passed away, and they will use their quilt. They will have their quilt there with them, either on the casket or beside the casket.
Aww.
And we're just amazed sometimes at how much these quilts mean to people.
Yeah. In your minds, it's probably a little thing, even though you're looking at probably 50, 60 hours in each quilt. But it's, a little thing that you can do to show your appreciation. But that little thing it means so much to
It
them.
does.
And you can see that.
I love it when we make a quilt specifically for someone.
Yes, you know who you're making it for.
Exactly. And there's a line that says, in the ceremony, there's a line that says that sometimes the tears of the quilter will be included.
Aw,
and
that's
when
the
you
truth.
know the person, that's true, because you're thinking of that person the whole time. And it's just very special.
Yes, a lot of love goes into a quilt, and that's, I think, what makes them so special. Another thing I was going to mention, it popped in my head, during like Fall Fun Fest, right? Don't you guys typically set up either at
In the chamber.
or City Hall? You've done
did
in the
City
past.
Hall the first time,
Okay. And then last year you did chamber.
Right. And we have lots of quilts from different people, and it's kind of a competition.
Oh, okay.
As you know, and people
Yeah.
will come in and vote for their favorite quilt and stuff.
Okay.
And last year, Mindy's Sew Shop actually supported that.
Aw.
And the winner received all kinds of really nice things
That's
from
right.
Mindy's.
Who was the winner? You remember?
Oh,
Not me. Not me.
No, it wasn't me either.
I was going to say, is this like a sore subject between you two? Or?
No.
It was Anita Morris, and and her
Okay.
quilt was beautiful.
See, and I didn't even know she was a quilter.
I remember that quilt. It had the eagle's
Yeah,
head
you're
on.
right.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that quilt. That was gorgeous.
Wow.
Right.
And these are all veteran quilts, all quilts that will be awarded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have so many people who volunteer to help us. We even have a woman who comes from, like 3 counties over. She contacted me by private message on Facebook and said, "I've got a quilt I'd like to donate."
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so she brought it to Cheryl's one day
Yeah.
when we were there, and she said, "Well, could I quilt with you guys?" And we're like, "Yes." You don't have to be. And
Yeah.
she's very loyal to
Oh
our
my
quilting group. So
gosh.
I mean, it's people who like to sew, but people
Yeah.
who also have the desire to do things for other people.
Yes,
Right.
definitely. Oh, I love it.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's a win for Fairfield National Bank
Yes.
for being able to do this for veterans. It's a win for us. It's a win for the veterans
Yes.
to receive.
There's
And-
no bad sides to
No,
it
no.
at all.
No.
And I'm so glad you guys. This gnat has been flying
Yeah,
around
he was over
this
here
whole time.
earlier.
I know. I was watching him fly around you guys. You handled it a lot better than I did. But yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. The gnat distracted me. But I am so thankful for what you guys do and the time you dedicate to it. And as we've mentioned, be sure and get your veteran names into these ladies so they can continue and meet their goal of providing a quilt to every single veteran in Wayne County, which is no small task at all.
Yeah.
So
And thanks for having us this
Yes.
morning.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
this is fun.
Yes.
Glad you came in.
we'll transition into the weather real fast, and then
Yeah.
if you think of anything else, we'll have time at the end to
Okay.
kind of go over that. So
Maybe some rain today.
a little bit.
High 79. To Saturday and Sunday look okay, cloudy skies, and then rain Monday and Tuesday. And then we're back into the sunshine on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temps. I think the highest temp is going to be 84 on Wednesday. So, and then it drops down into the mid 70s, maybe around 70 or so by the weekend.
I just got a text from Angela. I just saw the text from my mother-in-law, Angela. She said, I heard that when I made the comment about her seam ripper. Sorry about that, Nam. She is a great quilter, and I am a proud owner of a quilt from her as well. And I have one from Lori, one of their other sisters. I don't have one from Cheryl yet, but it's on my list. Okay, this week's broadcast, Tuesday we had FCHS baseball versus Carmi, and the Mules got an incredible win that day against Carmi White County. Final score of 10-2.
Big win.
Big win. Ian Puckett pitched for 6 innings, getting the Mules the win for the day. FCHS softball did not fare as well. They actually lost to the Bulldogs 10-0 in 7 innings. The pitcher Upton held the Lady Mules to only 2 hits the entire game, struck out 12 and walked 2. Wednesday, we did our first tennis broadcast of the season, and Elena said that was the longest broadcast I've ever done. She said, I thought college baseball was long, but she stands corrected. It was a long evening of tennis, but
tri-match with Carbondale and
it
Flora.
was. But she said that that Fairfield only played Carbondale.
Okay. Well,
So I don't know if they just didn't play Flora or if Elena was wrong.
Maybe Carbondale played Flora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, we're excited to bring a little bit of attention to the tennis club, and we will be on again next week with them as well.
Next Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday, yep. And then yesterday we had Bobcats baseball sophomore day. I was going to say night. They played Lakeland, and they actually lost 11-2 against Lakeland. And then it was the final regular home game of the season. And then Saturday they'll close out their season at Lakeland, and hopefully they fare a little bit better.
Very quickly, when we mentioned sophomore days, I want to send a shout out to the Kaskaskia College softball program.
Okay.
Yesterday, it was sophomore day at Kaskaskia College when the Frontier girls went over there and played. Well, they also recognized the 5 Bobcat sophomores during their sophomore day. So
I love that. We were
Yeah.
talking about the sophomores, and I didn't know that. I don't think we did that well at their last game here.
we had them all up
The
there.
softball, but I don't think they did like a recognition before or
They
anything.
did not,
so.
but
Well,
they,
that was nice
Yeah,
of
they
them.
recognized them at Kaskaskia yesterday. The Kaskaskia program did that as well with their sophomores. So
I love that.
just wanted to get that out there.
Yes, thank you for doing that. Let's see. Lady Mules were at Carmi yesterday as well, and they actually took another loss against the Bulldogs in conference play. Allie Rice went 6 innings in the 12-2 loss. Riley Isaacs had a home run in the game and another hit to have the only 2 runs scored for the Lady Mules. Upcoming broadcast.
It's going to get busy.
Whew, next week is crazy. Speaking of donations, if anyone would like to donate, I'm just kidding. FCHS baseball on Monday at Hamilton County, as well as softball. We have Peyton Allen, the senior from last year, is coming back to help us with some baseball broadcasts next week, so I'm excited about that. But FCHS baseball and softball at Hamilton County on Monday at 4:30. Wednesday, we have FCHS tennis versus Heron and softball versus Harrisburg. Thursday, baseball and softball versus West Frankfort. Friday, baseball at Flora and Frontier graduation, brought to you by FNB. And on Saturday,
Exclusively by FNB.
Exclusively. And on Saturday, we have FCHS graduation, brought to you exclusively by FNB as well. So it's going to be a hopping week for the Mule Nation crew, but we are looking forward to that. So upcoming local events, I don't have a whole lot. I'm kind of slacking on uploading these, but Community Paper Shred Day is tomorrow. Speaking of F&B, that will be at the Fairfield National Bank parking lot. So if you have anything that you need to shred, bring it up there tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon. Sunday the 5th, the Well Bar and Grill is having a rib cook-off. So I think it's too late to register for that, but you can go out from noon till whenever. They're having live music from 2 to 5 and just partake in the, tasting of the delicious ribs. On May 18th, the Kitty College is having their free Family Literacy Fest, and it's a fun morning to afternoon for the kids. So bring the kids out 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on May 18th. And then on May 24th, we have the Golf Scramble. Wayne County Chamber of Commerce will be putting that on. There are two tee times, 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Get registered at the Chamber of Commerce. I do have one more thing I wanted to talk about as far as events go. There is a pork burger, brats, and bake sale on Saturday, May 18th at the Wayne County Courthouse at 10 a.m. All proceeds are going to go to 10-year-old Hayden Kisson and family as he is in the hospital fighting HSP. So if you would like to donate, you can call Kelly Vaughn at 618-516-1214 or Crystal 618-599-7899. Hayden is a local student here in Fairfield, and he has been in the hospital, has had multiple surgeries and having a real tough time.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Channel 14 News out of Evansville did a story on him on their 10 o'clock news last night.
Really?
Yeah, on the...
I was asleep, so
yeah,
I happened to miss that
I
one.
didn't watch it, but I saw mention of it on somewhere.
Well, I'm glad that they're bringing a little bit of awareness to him. And another thing for a young mama's heart to worry about. I mean, it's just, I've said that since Aniston had cancer when she was 2. I was always so worried about my pregnancy and getting through my pregnancy and having a healthy baby, right? And then you think it's, okay, now we're done. And now it's like, I want them back in my belly. I could really keep you a lot safer in there. But yes, it's just always something to worry about.
Yeah,
Really quickly, local birthdays and anniversaries. April 29th, happy 21st to Mikhail Snyder. Happy birthday, Lucas Rogers, Quentin Baker, Hillary Nelson, and Derek Downs. April 30th, happy birthday to Scott Atwood and Aaron Braddock. May 1st, happy birthday, Darla Simpson and Amanda King. Yesterday, May 2nd, happy birthday, Caleb Vaughn. And happy anniversary to David and Angie Vaughn. Today, happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Lucas Vaughn. Happy birthday, Jessica Vaughn and Carolyn Brown and Jared Gale. And then on May 5th, happy birthday, Jessica Sims and Kathy Feely. Happy birthday, guys. If you have birthdays or anniversaries to submit, you can get a hold of me or send a email to rjontheair@raylanjames.com. Question of the day is, what is your strange phobia? You guys have any weird phobias or any phobias?
I have More than
More than one?
Yeah.
Let's get the list going here. That's hilarious. I have anxiety as a mom. I'll just say that. So I get very scared. And I have 2 young boys. So they love to just stress me out. But honestly, I'm still a little scared of the dark. I have to sleep with the TV on. No sound. But I like to have a little bit of light in my room. When I first lived on my own, like literally the first time ever was when I moved home. I didn't have roommates. I bought my own house, and I would like flip off the bedroom light and run and jump into my bed in case the monster or whatever under my bed was going to grab my legs. And I'm just like, this makes no sense. And I know it makes no sense, but I'm going to run just to be safe, just in case. But, Mark, do you have any strange phobias?
Maybe, I don't know, fear of going on a cruise, maybe.
Really?
We were scheduled to go on a cruise. Well, the only thing I could think of was Poseidon Adventure.
Oh.
Or Titanic.
Yeah. No. We were going. It was a Disney cruise we were supposed to go on, and finally it was just like, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Really?
I don't. All I can think of is the Poseidon Adventure.
It's probably not going to happen.
I'm working on it. I know it's probably not going to happen,
But
yeah, you never know. I've been watching a lot of like Dateline shows and stuff. I'm obsessed. But there was one that we've been watching that talks about like what went wrong in these plane crashes and stuff. So all of these little plane crashes that I'd never heard about. And they're like, this is the little things that happen to make this, plane crash. And I was like, why am I watching these? Like,
probably shouldn't.
No.
No.
So that may be a new fear. Yeah. I've flown my entire life, and now at 37, I'm going to be like, nope, can't do it anymore. Let's see. We have Gayla says styrofoam. She can't stand the sound of it or the feel of it.
I hate styrofoam.
As a McCono over here, you guys used to have the wonderful styrofoam cups that bring them back. I'm going to start a petition. Bring them back.
I will join that. I will
because
sign
they
that
don't
petition.
right. They
you
don't
can have
sweat.
A Coke for. You can have a Coke for
hours.
2 days.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to order an extra cup of ice when I go through now because the ice melts so fast in it, and then I pour. It's like I get 2 Diet Cokes out of it.
Why do you not like styrofoam?
Because when we unpack things at the shop,
it
little pieces of styrofoam are all over me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can understand
I
that
can't
one.
stand that noise.
Yes, the peanuts when they squeak together.
Now with a styrofoam cup with a drink in it,
You're
all
all
for,
good.
I'm all for that.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can draw the line there. I
Yeah.
like that. Crystal Baker says hers is someone choking, which I feel this. Mainly children. She said we watched that happen many years ago to a toddler in a restaurant. He was eventually okay, but it became her fear when she had the grands.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And when I became a mom, I was like, I really need to go take like CPR and first aid just because I wouldn't know how to handle situations like that. Ken Odie has to be smart, and he says, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Oh, boy.
Gephrophobia, GEPHYRO phobia. I had to ask him what it was.
Fear of Jethro? Bodine or something?
It's the fear of bridges.
Fear of bridges,
I
really?
have a friend who's
Yes.
very
Well,
afraid of bridges.
now
He
that
said
one,
he's white-knuckled the entire time he's driving over a
now
bridge.
that one that goes over the Ohio down
I
there.
brought that up when you're crossing into Vincent's or
Oh,
whatever.
no. The
okay.
Ohio down
Oh.
at Paducah.
Yeah.
You're talking about the...
I'm talking about the old rickety one
Yeah.
going
I
the
know what
back
you're talking
way
about.
to Vincent's.
This
That
one that
one.
goes across at Paducah, it's Bridgeport? Bridge something.
No, but it's
Scary.
It's got no decking on it.
yeah.
So I mean, you're driving across,
have
and
the
it's like.
He mentioned that one.
And you look down, and it's like, there's the
Don't.
river.
What about that bridge at New Harmony?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was closed for a while, but
Yeah.
they're talking about
We,
reopening it. It's like,
Why?
We
No.
a couple years ago, we went down to Kentucky, and we crossed right at the conflux of the Ohio and the Mississippi rivers. There are 2 bridges. One goes over the Ohio, then one goes over the Mississippi. Well, they are about, I don't know about that wide.
Yeah.
The sidewalks out here are wider than those bridges. And we're meeting semis on the bridge crossing it.
scary.
Liz Ann Woodrow also said bridges over big water, though.
Yeah.
See, I love bridges
Well,
over big water when you're like driving into the
I think,
beach. You're driving into, Panama City Beach and that big.
What about those bridges that go under the water?
no, thank you.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that. I'm
And
a little
Like
claustrophobic.
Lake Pontchartrain, when you go
I
to
love
New
that
Orleans.
name, but
That bridge
I
is
think there's a
like
good song
20
about it,
miles
too.
long.
I've never been to Louisiana. My goal is to go to all 50 states, but I've never been to Louisiana, and that's the closest one, and Louisiana Northeast. But yeah, I've never been to Lake Pontchartrain.
Yeah. Well, to go into New Orleans, you got to cross the lake, and it's like 20 miles wide for a bridge.
Okeechobee, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My in-laws spend the winter there in Lake Okeechobee. Never been there either. We keep threatening that we're going to show up.
Threatening.
Joking, whatever
leave
it
your
is.
2 boys
Like,
there.
yeah, exactly. Oops, forgot them.
Dropping them off.
You just thought you could get away from us for the winter. Here we all are. You got room in your camper? Cindy Irwin is trypophobia, which I had to look up. I didn't know that one. But it's an aversion to the sight of repetitive patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. So I would say that is the most unusual one
I've
on
never
this
even
list.
heard of that one.
I haven't either. I haven't either, but very interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us, Cindy.
Okay. Brookport. Brookport is the name of the town near Paducah.
Okay.
Derek Dunn.
Derek's.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it.
He's so clutch. He always comes in for us. Shout out to Dave Rigg. Dave Rigg is watching as well. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Hey to Dave.
Hey to Dave. Trivia questions. What you got for us
I
today?
got Kentucky Derby trivia.
Oh, good.
Because, tomorrow's the Derby. It's also Star Wars Day tomorrow.
Okay.
May the 4th be with you. And, of course, Sunday is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
It's a
well, today
big-
is Trace de Mayo.
Yeah, what's not?
Is that
Trace de Mayo.
Yeah, that's
Trace de
true.
Mayo.
Good point.
Thank you.
We all had that deer in the headlight when you said it. I was like, what?
No, don't say.
Did we?
All right.
Cinco seis.
Number 1, the Kentucky Derby is the first leg of the races for the Triple Crown.
First, I believe that's true.
How many races are there?
There's 3.
There's 3. Yep.
Kentucky.
Hence the name Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Preakness and the Belmont. All right, number 2. Each year, a garland of more than 400 of what?
Roses.
Roses is
And
made for the
Kroger
race
makes it.
winner.
Really?
The ladies at Kroger,
Sponsored by
if I
Kroger.
remember right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you look at me?
And what color are they?
Red.
They're red.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. All right, number 3. The Derby has more people attend than these 2 sporting events.
Wait, what?
The Derby has more people attend this than these other 2 sporting events.
Oh, like the Indy
World
500.
Series.
It is not the Indy 500.
The Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, more than the Super
the
World Series.
World Series, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So definitely probably more than the Indy 500
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
I would think. I don't know.
What is the traditional drink of the
Mint
Kentucky
julep.
Derby?
Yes.
Where is the Kentucky Derby held?
That would be in Louisville.
I'll take
Also
that.
in Kentucky.
But where specifically?
Oh, Churchill Downs.
Churchill Downs.
So my
On a
husband,
racetrack.
my
They go-
husband got to go on Wednesday. He got to go to Churchill Downs. First time he's ever been to a horse race. My uncle Clay is a horse racer, which it's different, harness
yeah.
racing or whatever. First time he's ever been to a horse race. Got to go to Churchill Downs. So he is spoiled now, and now he's into horse betting, and he's not good at it.
nice.
Not good at it at all. But I'm jealous. I've never been. I want to go.
been.
It is. I tell you what, over at Henderson,
Yeah.
it is so much fun over there.
Yeah.
To go to the races. And
It is. It's a
I
lot
have-
of
You mean Ellis Park?
Ellis
or-
Park,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a funny Kentucky Derby story.
Oh,
Tell
yeah?
us. Tell
Yeah.
us. We got time.
well,
Oh, go ahead with your trivia.
Go ahead. Finish your Derby
Okay.
story.
Well,
since
this
we're-
is just kind of funny, and we used to go to the Derby. Anyway, one year we went, and you just walk around and you just
People
walk
watch.
around and
Yeah.
and just see.
Yeah.
Go here and go there. Well, it was not on purpose.
I want to clarify.
We did not try to do this. It just happened, and we ended up in the breakfast for the jockeys.
Oh.
And we were like in the buffet line. Oh, I mean, we just walk. You know how you're just walking around, and then we're like,
Right.
"Wow, this is really nice."
Yeah.
You see all the jockeys in there. I don't think we're supposed to be here.
Somebody says, we didn't have the lanyard.
Oh,
or
right,
whatever,
right.
But we weren't intentionally doing that.
Yeah,
we
right.
just ended up there, and they're like, we're like,
Did they call security?
well, we were asked to leave you.
Quietly escorted out. That's
You know,
hilarious.
We're like, we don't even know how we got in
no,
here. It's
right,
just-
right. We're
My-
just moseying.
Yeah,
My-
we're just moseying. We moseyed on out.
We're from Wayne County.
Yeah.
We're not from around here.
I have been to the Derby. I've never actually seen the Derby in
Oh,
person.
you were in the snake pit.
Yeah, we were on the infield.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Infield snake pit.
Chris' parent was telling me some good stories of being in the snake pit as well. She said she saw one race because she sat on her boyfriend at the time's shoulders. This was like late 70s. And I was like, I'm going to come back to this. I need to hear more
Yeah,
about
we need
these
more about that.
stories. I'm sure you have some good ones.
All right. What popular accessory is worn by spectators at the Derby?
The hats.
The hat. Yep, you got it. What is the official flower of the Derby?
Oh,
Is
we'll
it
say
the
it's a
rose?
Yeah, it is
Okay.
a rose. What is the nickname of the Kentucky Derby?
The most.
There was a
the
Dan Fogelberg song.
I don't know that I know that.
Well, it's supposed to be like what the most exciting minute in sports or something like that.
Run for the Roses.
Run for the
Okay.
roses.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. What song is played as the horses approach the starting gate?
Yep.
I've heard
Back
it.
home again in Indiana. No, it'd be
Kentucky.
Kentucky. That's a whole other thing.
That's the Indy 500.
Oh, that
My Old Kentucky Home.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
On what day is the Derby held each year?
First Saturday in May.
What state?
She's a pro.
What state has produced the most Derby winners?
Oh.
Maybe Florida
I'm
Or
gonna go
Kentucky.
with, like Tennessee.
or Kentucky.
Kentucky, 113.
The home team always wins.
Yeah, it's the home field advantage.
Yes, yes.
And how long is the Derby in terms of distance?
Yeah.
Is it just one lap around? Do they run one?
It's just one around.
Yeah.
Each race?
just
So
one
that'd
lap.
So a
be.
mile. What
Mile
is
and a
it?
quarter, 10
Okay.
furlongs.
Quarter. Okay.
So it's a little bigger than our high school track then.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 4 laps around that's a mile, right? We have a trivia question from a fan,
All
from
right.
Gary Gain.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Gary. Kentucky Derby is the longest running sporting event in history. What is the second? And I don't have the answer, so Gary, we need to.
Oh.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon?
I'm going to say Wimbledon.
You guys got different answers?
Oh boy.
I don't know. He hasn't told me the answer yet. Gary, we need you.
Yeah. We're on the edge of our seat.
We are.
So that's the longest.
The longest running
It's
is
like
Kentucky Derby.
75, 100, maybe 100, 150, 175 years. I think it started in 1849.
Oh,
I don't know.
the Westminster Dog Show.
Is
Thank
that-
you, Gary.
Is that really a sport?
I was going to say, what? Is that really a sport? He said.
I don't know, but I like to watch it when it's on TV.
Who doesn't? I'm not even really that big of a dog person, but it's entertaining. I
I'm
have a
waiting.
dog. I'm sorry, Spidey. I love you.
Now
but
back home again in Indiana, that's for the Indianapolis 500.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who used to sing that?
Back home in Indiana, Jim Neighbors.
Jim Neighbors always did it. Yeah.
I know.
You're like, I don't know why I know this stuff. I just
know
do.
useless information. Don't ask me any math.
So, as we've had guests on here, I've slowly been creating my trivia team. I think you're going to be one of my
No.
ringers that I want on it. Because that's what you need to know. Like this random, useless knowledge.
Obscure.
Yes. I mean, so yeah, we had someone not too long ago too that, well, Chris Conard, you got to have for music knowledge. He knows all the music knowledge.
You got to have Derek Dunn for sports knowledge.
Yes. And I'm sure shouldn't even be on it because I don't know. I don't know what I'm bringing the
be
team
the
other
coach.
than just
When
putting the
is-
team
when-
together. Administrating, right?
There you go.
Facilitating.
Facilitating.
Everyone's got to have a facilitator.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, your job is you're the quarterback of the team.
Right.
Your job is to go, okay, I'm going to call this play. This question's about this. This play is
This
for
is-
you.
this is on
You
you.
got to answer that one.
You have the final say, right?
That's right.
That's funny.
Final Jeopardy.
Well, we're a little over, but not too bad. 9:45. So, yeah,
wow.
I know it goes fast in here, doesn't it? I thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah,
and I don't
thank
know
you.
if you planned the red today. Did you plan red? I didn't even think about it when I put it on, but I'm so thankful. We're all so patriotic today.
My goal was not to wear gray.
So we started taking Polaroids 3 weeks ago, or 3 shows ago. And the first 2 shows, he had the same gray shirt on.
Oh, I was going to say.
And I was like, okay, hey, Mark, is this your, like, show outfit? Or so he's made a conscious effort to test
Your shirt.
the past
Find
2
different
shows.
color shirts other than gray.
Oh, my gosh. So, anywho, thank you guys so much again for joining us. Do you have some things that you thought of that we
Not really,
didn't mention?
other than just we just encourage people to make sure and give us your veterans' names, because the only way that we know who they are is through word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we would just
And
encourage you.
that's mind-blowing to me. Like, I was like most people and thought there was a list that you guys are working
There's
your
just
way
word of
through.
mouth.
And
There's no list.
so help them build their database per
Yes,
se
please.
and get those names in, because that's the only way they're going to be able to complete their goal of reaching everyone. So
Check us out on Facebook on the Wayne County Quilt of Valor
Yes.
page, and you can private message us through that.
and on Tuesday, right, coming
Tuesday
up.
at the Cornerstone. Just
Cornerstone.
pop from 9
Okay.
a.m. till about 2 or 3.
And there's jobs for everyone there. You guys have your
yes.
yes. I've seen it. You have the ironing board, you have the irons, you have the people cutting, you have the people sewing.
You
so
don't necessarily have to be a quilter
come and
to
just
help
hang
out.
out. You know,
Yeah,
get to
just
get
come
to
and see
know.
what we're doing.
We have several people who have never touched a sewing machine other than to help carry them in.
Wow. Yes, there's a job for everyone.
That's
and
right.
then when do you meet at Cheryl's up in Johnsonville?
Every Tuesday.
We're there every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. So you're
Except
going to
for-
be, except for that one day that you're at Cornerstone.
month, yes.
Okay. All right. So if you guys would like to join them,
Yeah, we'd
that is
love-
where to go, and they'd love to have you.
Come
It's
join us.
no
fun.
fee. So yeah, I'm sure it is a lot
It
of
is.
fun.
It
You
is a lot of
ladies are fun.
We have a lot of fun.
I love it. Well, thank you again for joining us. Everyone, thank you for joining us online here for It's a Beautiful Day in Fairfield. You can join us next Tuesday with special guest. We switched it. It was going to be Bob Ellis, but now it's Dustin Fuller. So that'll be Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. And don't forget to help spread the word about Quilts of Valor and the wonderful cause that they are supporting here. You got anything else?
Have a good weekend.
All right. Everyone have a beautiful weekend.
Thank
we
you
will
very
see you
much.
on Tuesday. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.